welcome to Betfair Australia's exclusive preview of the Australian PGA Championship to be played at Royal Queensland. I'm your host Tom Happel, and today I'm joined by Harry Stanley. Harry, we've got some of Australia's best lining up this week. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, sure have, Tommy. It's good to be here. We've got Adam Scott, Cam Smith, Cam Davis, and Min Woo Lee. So four of the probably best Australian players in the game at the moment, coming back to Australia and playing in the PGA, which although isn't the penultimate tournament in Australia, still the second best. Obviously, there's only the Oz Open, which is next week. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, 9 of the top world's 100 players this week. So as you say, probably not an A1 sort of class event, but certainly looking forward to getting stuck into the preview. So Royal Queensland, the host course this week, the 5th staging of the Oz PGA at this particular venue. The course is a par 71 with 4 par 3s, 11 par 4s and 3 par 5s, measuring a little over 6,400 metres. So you'd say probably in professional terms, not that much of a test for the pros. Certainly for us amateurs it would be, but they should make mincemeat of this course. Water is in play on 7 of the holes, so that could prove a bit tricky for the players, but certainly the wide fairways, no rough to contend with. I think we'll see high scoring this week, Harry.
Yeah, agreed, Tommy.
Sorry, low scoring this week is what I meant.
Agreed. The course was redesigned and finished in 2007 by Clayton. It was originally designed by Carnegie Clark in 21. And so since 2007, technology's got a lot better. So looking through the course, a lot of the bunkers that are put there as hazards in the middle of the fairway are really not in play for the long hitters this weekend. So yeah, there should be some low scoring this weekend. Certainly
good conditions for the most part as well. Conditions in the mid-20s with just a moderate breeze, so there shouldn't be a draw bias either, which will be great for all the players. As you just touched on, an inaccuracy off the tee this week, I don't think will be penalised perhaps as much as it usually is, given the wide fairways and such. But we'll get on to sort of an overview now, some stats. So Cam Smith's one to talk about, Harry. He's the reigning champ. He comes into this with a world ranking of 18, which is actually his lowest for a long time, given he's, I suppose, suffering playing on the live circuit where world ranking points are not up for grabs. But comes into this with a recent run in the Hong Kong Open where he finished second place. Loves being back home in Brisbane too, so big Brisbane Broncos fan, and he loves being back on home soil. So I think he's a deserving favourite this week, and I think $4, $5 thereabouts is probably his right price. What do you make of the champ?
Yeah, I think he's had a pretty good season this year, considering he's playing on the Live Tour, 54-hole gimmick events where he's just making stupid money. It's not the same as playing 4 days of golf, but he's won this event 2 years in a row. I think he's won 3 times, he's a deserved favourite coming into this the tournament this weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised if I see him win a 4th title this week.
I think the key factor for him this week as well, as we just mentioned, is that he's actually coming off the Hong Kong Open, which he played, I think, a fortnight ago. So he's had that run under his belt, whereas a few of the other live players in this field, Leishman, Joaquin Neiman from Chile, their last tournament was over a month ago in Jeddah, so they might be a bit rusty, and Cam's got that all important, I suppose, run under his belt. So we'll get on to some players now. Harry, did you have anyone you wanted to touch on from a, I suppose, betting perspective, or even just a few names you wanted to mention?
Yeah, sure. We got to mention David Micheluzzi. He won last week's Vic PGA at Moonlight Links. He now puts him at third on the order of merit.
I think he secured a DP World Tour card as well last week, so he's in excellent form.
He's having a decent I think he qualified for finishing for winning the order of merit last season into some DP events in the PGA, the US PGA. But he's had 2 top 20 finishes since July on the DP World Tour, so not anything amazing, but he showed that he can play pretty good golf amongst the best. So he's one to look at for me. A couple of good names coming out, some unknowns. Josh Greer's from Joondalup Country Club out of WA. This is his first PGA, and he only turned pro this year, and he's currently 14th in the order of merit. And he finished second at the WebEx Player Series at Port Wollonga in South Australia in October. So he's a good player for a young kid and got a bright future. Andrew Lorte, again, a young kid in his 20s, third in the Super 6 last year, and T15 at that WebEx Player Series. He can seriously play. I've played with him before, and he's a good golfer.
Big noting there, mate. Big noting yourself.
Yeah, got to throw that in the mix. Curtis Luck's one I'm going to be looking at this week. Guy's been grinding for a lot of years. He got his PGA Tour card, lost it straight away, I think in 2017, 2018, something like that. And this year he's on the Corn Ferry. He's made 250 grand, but 0 wins. He's 17 from 20 cuts, but 47th on the Corn Ferry list. He needs something to get him back onto the PGA Tour. And
it can often happen, can't it, with these young guys, not just Australian players, but you often see the European young guys, go off onto the PGA Tour circuit maybe a year or two too soon, and it affects them in a negative way because they're probably not used to the rigours of those courses over there. They're obviously a lot tougher than in America than anywhere else. So often they're not particularly used to the surroundings and go a year or two too soon. So.
Yeah, Curtis Luck's a great example of someone who should have gone to the European Tour instead of the PGA Tour. His game suits this course. He's not overly long at all, but he's wicked from 120 metres in. So he can putt the lights out. So he's a good chance. He's at 80 to 1.
It's a big price, isn't it?
But I wouldn't be surprised if I see him win. This is an event that he definitely could win.
And as you just touched on, putting this week will be key because with the pros as they are, they're all similar probably in driving distance and approach play. It'll be those who can hold the putts. That's what it'll come down to this week. So certainly Cam Smith, as we know, probably the best putter in the world, is extremely well suited this week. A bit more forgiving off the tee. He doesn't have to worry about that. But we'll move on now to some suggested plays, some suggested bets. Remember to get your bets on tonight because we tee off very early start tomorrow. I believe it's 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. So remember to get your bets on. Harry, did you want to kick us off with, I believe you're a fan of the big man from Poland, who won in Victoria last year.
Yeah, Adrian Moronk. I've got him, he's at $17.50. I think that's a great bet. I've written here, elite player, elite form. So, he won once or twice on the DP World Tour this year, got snubbed for the Ryder Cup, which was pretty harsh, but I watched him play at the Oz Open last year and his ball striking's amazing.
It's incredible,
again, I think 17.50 is a bit overs for him there, considering he's proven he can win in Australia. I like Cam Davis. He's had a pretty good year. He's made $5 million this year on the PGA Tour. Hasn't won, but finished 48th in the FedEx Cup. So had a pretty good season. So again, he's a bit shorter. He's at 11.50, but I still like that as a play.
He's an interesting one, Cam Davis, because his best is probably as good as your Adam Scotts, Min Woo Lee, Mark Leishman, etc. But I find him from a consistency point of view, either very, very hot or very cold. There's not much in between with him. So if he brings his best, he'll certainly be in it. But 11.50, I think that's maybe a touch of unders, but obviously, he'll get his chance at some stage this week.
Yeah, for sure. And then I can't go past Micheluzzi with the form he's in. $28. He's shortened into 28. I think it's probably unders for the player that he is and the guys he's coming up against. He didn't really play against anyone too notable in the Vic PGA. Did play a wicked last round though. I think 6 under and.
Well, he was seven. He was 7 back on Sunday morning. 7 shots back from the leader, the New Zealand kid whose name escapes me. But to reel off that win was incredibly impressive, and he probably wasn't under that much pressure given he was so far back. You just have to sort of play, don't you, and see what happens.
So he'll be one of those guys that if he does win, it'll be the same case. He'll be 4 back going into the last day and have no pressure and steam home.
So you're happy to play those two on a win basis?
I'll take Micheluzzi. To be honest, I'll probably actually wait till after the first round to then see where Micheluzzi's at, and hopefully he shoots a even or 1 under in the first round and drifts a bit, and then I'd be happier to take him at a higher price. So probably wait on him.
Sure.
And then Curtis Luck is my long shot. He's at $80, trading at $80 back price on the exchange at the moment. Weird one. It's just more of a gut feel that I think if he plays to his best this weekend, he'll be right in the mix come Sunday.
Certainly an interesting choice, Harry. I can't, you can't begrudge anyone tipping an 80 to 1 pop. That's certainly good value. I like Tom McKibben this week is an interesting one for me. He's a Northern Ireland boy, similar to Rory McIlroy, but he finished runner-up in the 2020 Australian Amateur on this golf course. And he returns having won his maiden DP World Tour event in Germany earlier this year. And he's actually paired with Jeff Ogilvy, obviously major champion, and 5-time European Tour winner Nicholas Colsaerts as well. So I think the youngster paired with those two sort of wise heads, I think that's a great group for him to be in. And $46 on the Betfair exchange, I think represents very, very good value. And look for him to sort of be the long bomber. He's a huge hitter off the tee, and if he can hold some putts, $46 seems value to me. Second of all, I like the Japanese youngster Ryo Hisatsune. So he comes into this event with some fantastic form, with 2 top 10s and a win to his name in the last 5 tournaments. He finished runner-up in this event last year behind Cam Smith, ranks top 10 for strokes gained putting on the DP World Tour, and as we mentioned before, I think that'll be a key stat this week given the easy layout of the course. I think it'll lend itself to those who can finish their work off on the greens with birdies. So $24 for him at the time of recording is a great bet as well. Did you have any sort of first round leader plays, Harry, or any exotic bets that you liked this week?
No, but off the top of my head, Minwoo Lee's a guy who can go super low. None of us have picked him to win this event, although he just did win on the Asian Tour in Macau, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's coming in with some pretty good form, and I always like him as a first round back, kind of wherever he plays. If he gets on a hot streak, he can go pretty low. So I'm not sure what he is on the exchange at the moment for first round leader. I think he.
While you look that up, I'll quickly interject with some 3-ball bets, opening round 3-ball bets. So I think, as mentioned just then, Ryo Hisatsune to win the 11:10 a.m. 3-ball is currently paying $2.54. I think he's clearly the player in form in that current 3-ball, and $2.54 represents good value. And the second one is playing a straight bat here, but Cam Smith to win the 6:10 a.m. 3-ball, currently $2.34. I think, yeah, that's certainly a good price as well. So
Yeah, so you're getting Minwoo at $15.50 to lead after the first round, which is not bad. Adam Scott's at $21. I actually probably like that more, as I don't think Scott's going to win, but Scott can go low. And I'd probably predict him to play better early on.
yeah, he's certainly no stranger to this course or
Yeah.
this event either. Harry, it's been a pleasure, mate. Looking forward to a big weekend of action kicking off on Thursday morning, Australian Eastern Time. And for all your latest odds and market moves, check out the Betfair exchange for more.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.